Hi to everyone, it's me, TheDomotaku, back with Evergarden episode 4. So, I returned, and this episode, also pretty emotional. So, I've been liking Violet Evergarden, really, this whole season, because it's a slice of life. I like slice of life, and animation's freaking beautiful. And for one, these episodes just pretty emotional. I gotta say, like, you know, they brought in a lot of character development for Violet and Luculia from last episode, and now Iris. So, episode 1, we get to see a little bit more with Erica. Erica is the one with the glasses girl, so I finally remember her name. And, yeah, you know, we got a little bit about her, and her whole deal of becoming a doll, and then her getting close to Violet, and sort of protecting her from Iris, who, in the beginning, wanted to freaking fire Violet because she can't become a doll, she can't do her job properly, probably. And now she's probably all best friends with her, or good friends now. So essentially what happens, Iris gets a personal request from someone from her hometown to ghostwrite, or to write, yeah? Except an injury happens where she broke her arm, and now Violet has to come with her to do the writing for her because she can't type with one hand. And if you can, then good for you, but not in this technological age where you have the typewriter and stuff. So essentially they go back to their hometown, and they figure out that it was Iris's parents who set up this arrangement to have her personally come back to her hometown. One, to throw a happy birthday party because it's her birthday, and two, is to try and get her with a man. Parents, right? So there's a huge conflict here. So this episode is highly focused on Iris and how essentially she had like a huge like trouble, or like huge sort of event happened to her as a kid, and that sort of explains her drive to become a doll and how she's moved away from her hometown. So essentially what happened is that as a kid she confessed to someone, she got rejected, and then essentially she didn't really feel like staying in the same town as him, or, you know, just remembering the whole thing. So she studies literature and writing and reading and stuff, and then wanted to become a doll, and she moved to the city. So this is some motivation for her character, which is interesting because essentially she likes being a writer, and essentially she enjoys it because it's something that she decided to do by herself. It's like her own goal, her own dream and whatnot. So, you know, it makes sense to some extent. So essentially, as they arrive to the hometown, they're trying to invite guests for, or invites for guests, and mostly the mom's like having a list of dudes and everything. It's like, you know, at your age, Iris, you should probably have a boyfriend or be married or have kids or something like that. I'm just like, damn, like, okay. But of course, Iris is pretty upset with this, and she's not really like, you know, she wanted to become a huge popular doll and, you know, be famous for her town, and except now her mom's just like, you know, barging in and be like, yo, you need a girlfriend, you need a girlfriend, you need a boyfriend, and I'm just like, or you need a husband or something like that. And, you know, she's just really upset with this. So, you know, they're writing the guest list, a whole bunch of dudes on there. Her ex, the person that she confessed to as a kid is in there. So then she's just really pissed. So essentially the party happens, everyone gets invites, even the guy that rejected her, and then it just causes downfall at that point. Like, it's all good, but then he comes in and is like, oh, hey, happy birthday, and like, I got invited thanks to Violet, who's the one writing the invitations. And yeah, it just goes downhill from there. So after the party crashes, essentially Iris is pissed, her parents don't know what to do about her. Violet goes to confront Iris and talk about her. Iris tells her about what happened, how she confessed, she got rejected, etc. And essentially now, thanks to this, Violet and Iris are pretty close now. So after Iris speaks her part and tells her what happened with her, Violet goes, finally they're talking, just chatting, and then Violet talks to her about why she wanted to become a doll, and essentially about the Major, Gilbert, and how he said that he loved her last thing he said to her, and that she wanted to become a doll to, you know, find out what that means. So essentially Iris is like, oh shoot, I totally didn't understand Violet at all, but now I understand her. She's like a human tool in this war, and now she's just rediscovered love, or she discovered love thanks to someone, to the Major, and she's trying to explore what it means and just emotions and everything. She's trying to grow as a person, and that alone, just like, wow, like these two understand each other now. They're like at terms, because in the beginning of the series, Iris wanted her fired because, like, yo, this girl probably can't write a letter for shit. She can't do her job properly. But now she's like, oh, I understand Violet so much now. And now they're all good friends. And essentially, Violet helps Iris write apology letters for everyone in the party and to her mom, and it's really emotional. It got me in the feels and the heart. And essentially at the end of the episode, they leave, they go off on their own, and then they have a nice chat in the train here, where Iris is talking about how her name is derived from the blue flowers, the iris, I guess they're blue, in their village, right? And then it brings a huge flashback to Violet and how she got her name, and how the major named her Violet because there's like some kind of purple flower just sitting in the background. And I was like, okay, here's a purple flower, I'm gonna name you Violet. So that was nice. So essentially, I personally think that Violet is growing tremendously thanks to her connections and her relationships with everyone. So in episode 3, you had Luculia. She helped her pass the school, and in this one you have Iris, who now understands Violet a lot more and sort of sees Violet as, you know, she's like really blunt and with her words, and just really doesn't know how to read emotions and expression. But then she has good intentions, so she's a good person, and like, now she understands her to a point, and she tells her that, you know, you wrote a good letter. You probably wouldn't be able to write a good letter if you didn't know how to understand people's emotions. What are you, a machine? So yeah, I think that was really great. And now it's just like, wow. So you have the whole team. You have Erica and Iris, and you even have maybe the boss somewhat, who sort of understand Violet too now. And now I'm just wondering, it's like, okay, what's next for Violet? What's the next like thing that happened to test her in society and just see if she can understand what to do and whatnot. So personally, I think that next episode we're gonna have Violet get a task for herself, and she's gonna have to do it alone without her friends or anything, no help, just her. So that'll be interesting to see. But anyways, what do you guys think about this episode? A lot of character development for everyone in the whole cast in the series, which I really like, and it brings a lot more fruition to Violet's character as she grows along with them. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. So what do you guys think? Tell me guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys for episode 5. And I can't believe that people get to watch this weekly on Netflix when us people with Netflix in America are gonna get it in one go. What the hell, Netflix? So I'm just like, every single time the episode starts, it just says Netflix. I'm like, oh shoot, this is on Netflix? I gotta go check it. I'm trying to check it. It's like, it's not on here, because they're gonna freaking release it all in one go, and instead of simulcasting it, what the fuck? That's just mini rant. So anyways, see you guys later. Take care guys, matane, and see you guys for episode 5.